Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into the world of mindfulness. But look, this is not about becoming some perfect Zen master overnight. Nope. This is all about finding what actually works for you. We're going to build a really practical guide, a personal journey that you can literally start today. So let's get into it. So here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we'll cover the absolute basics. What even is mindfulness? Then we're going to lay out a super simple 4-step roadmap to get you going. After that, we'll build out a toolkit, a whole menu of different practices you can try. And finally, we'll wrap up by talking about how to make this whole thing your own personal adventure. All right, let's kick things off with section 1. What is mindfulness? Before you start any journey, you've got to know where you're starting from. So let's build that foundation right now. You know what's so great about this definition? It's just so simple. Mindfulness isn't some complicated, mystical thing. It's just paying attention. And those 3 little parts are key. On purpose. That means you're deciding to do it. It's intentional. In the present moment. You're not worrying about yesterday or stressing about tomorrow. And maybe the hardest part, without judgment. That means just noticing what's happening without labeling it good or bad. You're just observing. And this right here, this is the core idea of everything we're talking about today. There is no one-size-fits-all right way to do mindfulness. Your journey is going to look different from anyone else's. The real goal isn't to be perfect at some technique you read about, but to find what actually helps you feel a little more present in your own life. So that brings us right to section 2, your 4-step roadmap. This is where we get down to the nitty-gritty, the practical stuff. Let's look at a clear, simple path for anyone to get started. Okay, just look at how doable this is. Seriously. Step 1, you just pick one thing to try. That's it. Step 2, you give it a shot just 3 days a week. Not every day, just 3. Step 3, once a week, you just jot down a few thoughts about how it went. And then at the end, you just kind of look back and see what you learned. This isn't some huge, intimidating commitment. It's just a few small, totally manageable steps. So the big question is, what practice do you actually choose? Well, that brings us to section 3, building your toolkit. I want you to think of this section like a menu at a restaurant. You just get to browse and see what looks good to you. Let's check out the options. First up, we've got practices that are all about reflection and writing. So if you're the kind of person who really finds clarity by putting your thoughts down on paper or, typing them out, these are going to be fantastic places to start. A gratitude journal is so powerful because you're literally retraining your brain to look for the good stuff instead of getting stuck on the bad. Or you could try a kindness journal, which is awesome because it shifts your focus to other people and you get to see the real impact you have. And then there's the 29 gifts practice. This one's a deep dive into generosity that can totally change how you see the world. With all of them, the writing part helps you really process it. All right, next category. Let's look at some practices that are less about sitting still and writing and more about how we actually move through our day and connect with other people. These are the practices of action and connection. These are some really concrete ideas. The Holy Encounter turns any interaction, getting coffee, a meeting at work, into a chance for mindfulness. A Sabbath. Now, this isn't necessarily about religion. It's just about taking a real break. A technology Sabbath, where you put your phone away for a day, can be a total game changer. Or how about a dematerialization plan? Mindfully clearing out your physical space has this amazing way of clearing out your mental space, too. I just want to pause on this line for a second. Think about that. What if that was your quiet goal for every single person you talk to in a day? It's such a simple idea, but the impact it could have, not just on them, but on how you feel, that's mindfulness in action right there. And of course, we gotta talk about meditation. For a lot of people, this is the first thing that pops into their head when they hear mindfulness. But as you're about to see, it is way more diverse and way more approachable than you might think. So meditation isn't just one thing. Yeah, it can be sitting quietly, but it can also be a moving meditation, like a mindful walk or yoga. It can be visualizing a place that makes you feel calm. If you're just starting out, guided meditation apps are absolutely brilliant. It's like having a coach right in your ear. And here's a little pro tip. If your mind just feels like it's racing, try putting on some background music with alpha brainwaves. It can really help your brain settle down. And that brings us to our last, and honestly, our most important section, your personal adventure. This is all about taking these ideas we've talked about and actually making them work for you in your life. Okay, this is a huge question because, let's be honest, this is going to happen. You'll pick something, you'll try it, and it'll just feel wrong. It might even make you feel more stressed out, like you're failing at it. So what do you do then? The answer is so simple and so freeing. You just pick something else. That's it. This is not a test you have to pass. If a practice is adding stress to your life, it's not the right tool for you right now. The whole point is to be kind to yourself and to find what actually feels good and helpful. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? This whole thing is an exploration. It's about being curious, not about being competitive. There's no finish line you're supposed to be racing towards. It's just about the journey, about discovering what helps you live a life that feels a little more present, a little more peaceful, and a little more alive. So, there you have it. We've talked about what mindfulness is, we've got a roadmap, and you have a whole toolkit of practices. The only thing left is to start. So looking at everything we just covered, what's one tiny first step you could take? Your adventure is officially waiting for you.